Hi, I'm Tony. I want to show you how kiro-cli and Runloop's devbox infrastructure can work together to enable high bandwidth agentic programming. So I'm sure you're familiar with Kiro, and I'm going to talk about Runloop a little bit instead. Runloop specializes in devboxes, which are containers that run inside isolated micro VMs. You can spin up many devboxes in parallel, up to 10,000 at a time, to really let agents loose on a task. And we provide namespace and hardware isolation designed from an agent-first and security-first standpoint. For my demo, I have a web UI hooked up to some APIs on Runloop. I have a way to load a GitHub repo and then add some setup commands right here. So when Kiro runs on a devbox with the GitHub repo loaded, it's going to have dependencies installed and commands available to it to actually run code. I'm going to be able to start a new task with Kiro. I can give the task a title and then a description, and I'm going to choose Kiro as my agent. I'm going to be able to start many Kiro instances at the same time. So when I click Create Task, you can see on the right, via our RLI monitoring tool, I'm going to be able to see some devboxes start up immediately. Over here, we see that I have my task of add and run a unit test for the site. This is going to be passed to Kiro, and with autocomplete enabled, Kiro is going to start working on this immediately. In terms of what kind of development pattern this supports, we believe that there's going to be a few different versions of these unit tests created because AI isn't quite deterministic, and we think that humans will have a role to play in actually editing these outputs as opposed to solely writing code themselves. As I'm speaking, you can see that we can go between these two Kiro tasks, and we can load up the terminal, load into Kiro directly. Kiro is running in parallel on live devboxes as we can see on the RLI. Watching the logs, we see Kiro output as it's coding. And we can go back and forth between these devboxes as we want to. Kiro is working independently in both of these tasks, and we can monitor its outputs in a few different ways. We can actually VS Code tunnel server directly into Kiro. We can open a preview for the site, which is a Next.js site. We can ask Kiro to make a PR once we think the code is in a good place. And we can even fork and imagine. A fork and imagine specifically to Runloop means we're going to take a disk snapshot of the devbox, and using that, we can create multiple versions of a follow-on from there. So if we have one unit test that we like for one page, we can ask Kiro to even extend that for a few different pages. You can see that Kiro 1 has finished the task of creating a unit test. And so has Kiro 2. We hope this is a fun little demo showing how Runloop is able to really enhance the capabilities of Kiro. Now, we can't wait to see what you build with us. Thank you.